That poor kid.
I mean, okay, I could if I give a prediction for. Also, by the way, you've been waiting to get to talk about him. But so this is Valkyrie, and she needs help dealing with a demonic problem. So we
This place looks very familiar.
So she
Look at that. The funny pizza man.
The funny pizza man. So this is the thing about this Dante. We can tell by the outfit. This is Devil May Cry 1 Dante.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I believe the most recent Devil May Cry title when this game came out was Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah.
I get why they chose this one because of the fact it does give them a lot more space to work with since there's a huge gap between 4 and 1.
Yep.
Yeah, you are Dante. Yes, you run the Devil May Cry agency. And Dante is Dante. We love him. But you know, he's doing his
He's incorrigible.
He's incorrigible. He's doing it. He's like, I know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fun fact: if you look at the background, you see the pizza box, and I believe that's his sword from Devil May Cry 1.
Yep. You can also see Ebony and Ivory up on the wall.
Yeah. You've been pretty much blacklisted.
I don't know about the other two swords.
They look just like traditional long swords.
Yeah.
I always wear this. Who's that guy behind you? He gives anyone the creeps. Speaking of Darkstalkers, why do I have the urge to talk about his weirdest move?
Yes.
Dmitri Maximov. He is, if you can't tell, he's a vampire. And if I remember correctly, I think he was I don't know, like I said, it's been a while since I played.
He was originally supposed to be the protagonist of Darkstalkers.
I would say that role.
People liked Morgan way more.
To be honest, even outside of, like, you know, Morgan being Morgan, she's a lot more fun of a character.
As a fighting style, she was more well-liked, and plus they just ended up making her a much more important character as the times went on.
Don't get me wrong, Dmitri, if I remember correctly, he's a bruiser character. She's flashy.
Yeah.
She's a speed character, which would surprise you to know I liked playing Morgan.
No.
Like, you've seen me play fighting games.
Not in the least.
You know I like my speed characters. That's why she's one of my team members in MVC3 and MVC Infinite. I need to actually get that. I need to try Beyond Infinite still.
Yeah. Infinite and Beyond.
Yep. Yeah. So
still an amazing name for a mod.
I was told by an acquaintance that a devil hunter was needed to solve this. Of course, she was put on the trail of the problem by fucking Morgan. Which Dimitri is, like, so happy about. And he's like, Dimitri's like, I don't know anything about this fucking world, so I need a guide.
And, like, the fact that she's referring to Morgan as an acquaintance is really nice, because they were allies in the previous game.
And it also says, like, Dimitri's like, a certain woman told me about someone who's to be perfect for the job. So she's just like, eh.
So, this is just Morgan trying to mess with Dante.
Yeah, and also, a cross between human and demon blood, the son of the betrayer. So, canonically, in this game, when it comes to specifically the underworld, the plot of Devil May Cry is the basis. So, Sparta has sealed the underworld. Damn you, Morgan!
It's also just, like, mixed in with the other lore as well, in a very well thought out way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the demon lore ends up being Capcom stuff anyway.
Yeah. Capcom really likes hell. And it's really good to have as your part of your basis. Because if I remember correctly, the world the Darkstalkers come from is not hell, where the demons Dante fights come. It's the Makai world. It's different. But also, fucking love this track for Devil May Cry. This is, whenever I hear some people talk about Dante's theme, this is the track I think about, because this is the one they used in MVC3, as well as why am I drawing a blank here? Well, they use it here, they use it in MVC3, and I believe it's this Devil May Cry 3 theme, which It's a really good song, in my opinion. I don't hate, was it Subhuman in 5?
Yeah.
That's more...
That's an older Dante.
Yeah, it's just more...
This is the Dante that...
Still cool.
This is the Dante that hasn't become a pizza boomer yet. He's getting there.
I do love, like, when he's like, I've restarted, I paid your phone bill and your power bill. Phone rings, Devil May Cry, how can I help you? Dante, can you come to my perfume? I will do any job as long as it gets me out of that. Head of the Doma family, this is getting interesting. To Marvel Land, a sealed-off location situated deep in the desert. If I remember correctly, Marvel Land, I think, is from her game.
I believe so.
I know it's not a Devil May Cry thing, and I don't believe it's a Darkstalkers thing. It's either a
Land. It's a platform game released by Namco. Shares its name with the fictitious kingdom where Valkyrie no Boken takes place, but has no connection. Okay, yeah.
So it's her world, but not her game.
It's the kingdom where Valkyrie no Boken takes place. There is a separate platform game named Marvel Land that has no relation to the Valkyrie world. Interesting. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Valkyrie, so I'm going to be very honest. So much like with Super Robot Wars, that got me into a lot of other mecha shows I hadn't known about, Project Crosszone got me into a lot of other properties from companies I know very well. I've talked about how I knew Namco, Capcom, well, Namco Bandai for a while. I mean, I'm a Gundam fan. I have to know about them.
Yeah.
Capcom, I am a huge Mega Man fan. I knew about Resident Evil. I knew about Devil May Cry, but a couple of these gave me some interactions with characters I'd never seen before.
And then
Sega.
Sega.
Fucking Sega!
And then Sega ran in headfirst and was like, hey guys.
Yeah, no, like, here's the thing. Well, I heard Sega was going to be in, and I'm like, oh, I bet it's going to... Like, I'm thinking Sega's got prank something like, you know, they're iconic. I was like, oh, maybe Sonic and Tails. No Sonic characters in any way, shape, or form. It's all humans.
Not even, like, a reference or nod to Sonic, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no,
which
but...
I appreciate way more.
I can appreciate also because of the fact, playing these games, I could agree with the fact that Sonic the Others would feel out of place because of the fact that the rest of the cast is human. Or at least humanoid. Yeah. I can't say all human with a vampire, a Valkyrie, and a fucking devil hybrid.
Plus, overall, the thing is that Sonic isn't as, like, popular outside, like, in Japan compared to the rest of the world at the time that Namco Cross Capcom or Project Crosszone dropped. So this was more of a matter of, hey, let's acknowledge our other properties because these do well in our home. Oh boy. Angry doggo.
Yep, sorry. I'm muting myself on stream, but I can't hit the mute on Discord. Give me a second.
Well, stream, do you like jazz?
He's still going a little bit. Just give me a second. Okay. No. It's because he heard a dog outside start, so it got him started. You hear him with his, like, little bark thinking he's some big shot. But no, yeah. Demetrius is like, you're the son of Sparta. I had such high hopes for you. What the fuck, man? Gotta be able to
afford some pizza for dinner, you know?
And the funny thing is, for those who don't know, that's all a fucking lie from Dante.
Oh, yeah.
Dante is canonically always fucking broke. This is a common thing in all of the games and extra media for him. The fact that Dante has no money, and if you ask him, it's because he blows it all on money and his fun little pastimes. It's not.
It isn't. He spends most of his money
on
making up for a mistake.
That wasn't even. It's a mistake that isn't even his fault. He just blames himself because that's fucking Dante.
Yeah. And I like that about his character.
It's
also just really funny to see him living day to day off of just pizza and nothing else.
So yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking about this very quick, just because it's the fact it's not something that anyone who has not delved into the DMC lore would know about. And that is when Dante, before he was going by the name Dante, when he was going by Redgrave,
Redgrave.
he took a job at a small town where one of the first Angelos appeared and killed a friend of his. So he blames himself for that, but at the same time, the daughter of his friend became a fucking demon. Yep. And the only, like, she was at a point where he's like, there's nothing I could do to save her, blah, blah, blah. So the best he could do was just put her out. He gives all of his money to her surviving sisters, if I remember correctly, and they own a bar, which was the same bar he used to take jobs in the same town, because fucking Dante can never have anything good happen to him. What happened there was a gunsmith, because Dante kept burning through handguns, so he needed something better.
He needed something made custom.
So
nothing else could handle how fast he pulled the trigger.
Yeah, the Angelo, I believe, is the one who killed this woman. She was making 2 handguns for him and had him finish the engravings. The handguns were, of course, ebony and ivory. And also, that woman, her husband is a dick that we meet in Devil May Cry 4 during one of Dante's best fucking scenes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that
you can put him in probably the best outfit ever.
I know.
It's not even mean.
Mint lost her shit there. But also more notably, currently, her daughter is working with Nero and made the Devil Breakers.
Like mother, like daughter.
And one of her main things, she wanted to be Dante because of the fact he had her mother's last creations, and he's the one who killed her father. And Nero was even like, so, do you have a problem with him doing that? Fuck no, he was a piece of shit!
Yeah.
But God, his research was good. Because I remember, his research canonically was how she made Nero's new arm.
Mm-hmm.
Which I actually, can I be perfectly honest, I love the fact Nero losing his arm was one of the best things that could have happened to him.
Yes, it is.
It made him even more unique to Dante and Virgil.
Yeah. He felt less like
Dante and Virgil.
He felt a lot less like a Dante clone. And became his own thing. He
felt like in Devil May Cry 4, he does feel like a bit more of a simplified Dante without having, not having the stance system, focusing more on, like, the revving of his sword and the Devil Breaker being able to pull and use those heavy attacks.
Mm-hmm.
But giving him the arms for variety was very nice. I just wish there was a better way to switch between the arms. Yep. And Dante brings up here, these are devils, like the ones from that tower. So the tower he's talking about, despite being the Devil May Cry 1 Dante, the tower is Devil May Cry 3.
Mm-hmm.
Dante in Dante in general has
3 is
a prequel.
Prequel to Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry has one of the more interesting interactions in this game, just because of the fact they're from Dante's like got 2 different time periods at once, and then there's these 2. Toma, I actually forgot what game they're from.
They're from Shining Force.
Yeah, I know nothing about Shining Force, so I can't, unlike Devil May Cry and Darkstalkers, where I can give interesting anecdotes, I don't know shit about this game.
Yeah, if Tristan were here, he'd have a better idea, I think.
Yeah. I was toying around the idea of, like, having an after segment of the videos on YouTube talking about the different franchises, but, like, that gets too hectic, and there's way too much research I'd have to put in there. And to go a step further, because I was toying around the idea to have as, like, a prototype for SRY, but, like, SRY, a lot of the shows I already know a decent bit about. I mean, I've talked a lot about G Gundam, I've talked non-stop about Endless Waltz. We've already talked about Char's Counterattack, like, what, this is going to be the 4th time? Same with Zeta.
Sunrise, you've brought Char's Counterattack
like
to show and tell
I remember us talking about this. I could see, at the very least, if you're using anything, I don't think they're using the actual Char's counterattack plotline. It's probably just being used for the lore again, like it was in 30. My question is, what the fuck is gonna go on with Char? A second. Okay. What was it? Oh, yeah. I'm curious if we're going to see Char again in the Hyakushiki or if he's going to be in the Sazabi. I know if I have my personal preference, he'll be in the Sazabi.
Yeah, what would be really funny is to just put him in the Gundam.
It's especially appropriate now.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
If I have a prediction, like what... Because we're getting, like, I think they said, like, 16 stages and, like, 6 mechs in the first DLC.
Yeah.
So we're getting these DLCs
it's
are...
Gonna be wild.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little bit wild. If I had to guess... Oh, a second. Ugh. Sorry, I had a package come in, and I know what it is. It's Gunbuster. Also, going back to properties, I think this... Is it fair to say that this game is a bit infamous for its difficulty? Let's talk about Ghosts and Goblins. Right? Or... With Arthur. The Knight of Silver. Okay, this game is infamous its difficulty because it's a 2-hit KO. Am I wrong with that statement?
You're not.
This is an old Capcom property. Though also, he's taller in this game than he is in other properties. Because, like, in Marvel vs. Capcom, he's a short character. He's so... If I remember correctly, in MVC 3, he's so short that some attacks will just whip over his head. From the land of ghosts and goblins. And yeah, he's, as Dante brings up, he's one of the original devil hunters.
Yeah, this is specific. So, it's specifically Shining Force Exa that
we're dealing with.
Toma and Cyril are from.
That's good to know. But also, yes, as Arthur brings up, your power seems familiar. And yep, Arthur knew Sparda. The man, the devil's fear. Yeah, I think it's safe to say at this point in Dante's timeline, it's pretty well known in the underworld that he is Sparda's kid. He's not hiding that shit anymore. They don't look evil, meanwhile Dimitri. And there goes the armor.
Well, so the more things change, the more they stay the same.
He's got his weird traits, but I think he's a good guy deep down. Yeah, he knows we can trust someone, unlike her. Unsurprisingly, Dante's special... I like his special more in not DMC, in Crossroad 2, but that's just because of the fact I like his paired combo more in that. Don't get me wrong, him and Dimitri are really good. I think it does pair very well with, you know, Dante's Devil Trigger. But, his special has to do with an iconic phrase for Dante. And you know what? I'm actually going to just be able to show it right away. We have enough points. I'll take the hit. Oh, fuck, I'm bound. Can I be honest? Bound is a way worse status effect in the next game than it is in this one. Because of the fact, in this game, there's no positionals, but in Crawl Zone 2, positionals matter. Let's see. Okay. Oh, right. No, I'm wrong. I'm actually wrong. Bound prevents you from using skills and items.
Yeah,
I'm thinking paralysis.
Shining Force Exa is an action RPG. Interesting. Okay.
I could get that vibe from their moveset.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, I think the developers use for a parody to the next one, I think the developers know my playstyle from Fire Emblem Awakening. I know you hate the fact that they give that weapon to him.
I get why they had to give it to him. It's because it's literally the only ranged sword that he has. But for fuck's sake.
So, let's see. Million Stabs. Million Stabs is one of Dante's better moves. Like, just because of the fact it's really good at holding them in position. And of course, the special for them is called Jackpot.
At least specifically this special.
Yeah, the multi specials all have different names.
Yeah. That is something that we didn't bring up before. There are different specials depending on the situation that you use them in.
Well, no, I brought it up in the last level about multi specials.
I'm an idiot, okay?
Yeah, you know, I was talking about it last time because of the fact the Endless Frontier crew don't get their multi special till like midway through the game.
Yeah.
Because they're multi.
That's not until they get the Guess Pent.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather, Phantom the mini Guess Pent.
Because
apparently the Phantom is like a 3-meter sized recreation of Haken's Guess Pent.
And now, a lot of the villains are really tempted by the power of other worlds here, so they're like, fuck, I'm gonna get this power. But they are not the ones causing the interdimensional problems, as we've noticed. They're just taking advantage. So currently we have a villain of Shining Force, a villain of Darkstalkers, Sin and Jury are in the mix. There they go. So we've got a couple villains. The only thing we need now is some BOWs. And Dimitri's like, fuck this, I'm going home. Because, yeah, this has no... In his mind, currently, this has nothing to do with Jedha.
He has no idea what Jedha's going around and doing.
Yeah, he doesn't know that he was in the Endless Frontier.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'll ask my friend about this. Oh, boy. I'm... Okay, I want to talk about her really quick. Let's talk about Lady.
Lady's great.
Lady's great. I'm actually kind of sad that a couple people now have some very bad taste. A lot of new DMC fans who've never played the original trilogy for Devil May Cry or watched the original one.
They don't know how amazing she is as a character.
Especially because a lot of new opinions about her being based off the new show.
Yeah.
She swears more in that show, one episode of that show, than I think the entire series.
Yep.
And I don't just mean her, I mean in general, the entire series of Devil May Cry.
Oh, I know.
I don't like that change.
surprisingly, I think she might be cursing more than Dante ever did.
Like from DMC Devil May Cry?
Yes.
Fucking hell.
If you ever hear someone refer to Dante as Dante, that is why.
Yeah,
that
but
is
no.
what they mean.
Oh god, if I really don't like what they did to her in that show.
I don't either.
It's a shame. I do like her because of the fact she's always been kind of cool and collected, except for when she gets emotional because of something that affects her. In understandable situations, like her fucking father being a demon worshiper.
Yes.
And also, she carries around a really big fucking rocket launcher.
Yeah.
2 of them now. God, Devil May Cry 5 is fun.
Mm-hmm.